It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interview. Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends it, caught, touchdown, did he get it?
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome on into a rainy and kind of dreary day in the clouds and the weather, but pretty exciting day for those that attend one particular high school and cheer for one particular high school, as it was the 4A football championship earlier today. You heard it on some of our radio stations and on Cache Valley Daily. We'll recap what happened between number 1 Ridgeline and number 14 Green Canyon earlier today at Rice-Eccles Stadium, and look back on the season that was for them and compare their run with maybe some other teams from around here who had great runs. We'll also talk about more about Utah State football, get into some Aggie basketball preview as they play tomorrow morning, and a lot of other things to get through on our docket today. And as always, love to have you chime in and be a part of the program as well. 435-339-0321. That's the Young Power Sports of Logan text line if you want to weigh in. And Jason Walker, my normal co-host, hanging out in Salt Lake City watching high school football championships. And so we've called for the relief pitcher.
Your normal, you could just say, hey, Jason,
French dip in studio.
Don't you dare. Don't do this again. All right. I drove through soaking wet rain after having a freaking migraine because I have kids screaming in my ear for no apparent reason. They have no idea what they're cheering for. They're screaming. So I started chucking candy at them. So just to shut them up. It kind of worked. But here we are. And now you're like, oh, hey, Jason Walker, my normal. No crap. Your listeners know who Jason Walker is.
Yeah, he's normally the guy who's in here.
Yeah, he is. Usually you're gone.
But he's not.
The Cabos.
He's not here today.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got French dip. Thanks for coming in. You had a busy day. You called the game earlier today for Utah State women's basketball.
Sure did.
Got to see all the bunch of kids in the stands.
Oh, man.
Waving their arms up and down, doing the whole 6-7 thing.
Oh, my gosh. I was so pissed. Wes looked at me at one point, and I said, and he looked at the scoreboard, and he pointed at it to me, like saying, hey, we're 2 away. And I was like, hey, call a timeout. Do something. Shoot a 3. Anything. And you actually hear me on the broadcast, too. Someone put it out there on the Twitter. You hear me as the lady shooting the free throw for the opposing team. I'm like, okay, the Aggies need to hit a 3 here. And then as they're going down, I just see Jamison cut into the lane. I'm like, oh, no. And I say it, too. I'm like, oh, no. And, you see Wes jump in the air, I'll get all excited. I'm like, gosh. And, so at Oregon State, same thing. But there's 5,000 kids in that game at Oregon State. 5,000, man. And I didn't realize at first because I wasn't really looking at the score. And all of a sudden, these kids just erupted. I mean, lost it. And I was like, I don't know, maybe he shouldn't score that much. I look up at the score, and I'm like, oh, and was it Wes was doing, him and Scott Rueck, the head coach of Oregon State, are really good friends. And Wes is doing the whole thing, the stupid sign or whatever. And, yeah, so congrats, kids. I hope you're freaking happy.
We have opposing reactions to having you on the show today.
Oh, is that so?
Filling in. 4781. No, not Ajay. I was having a good day. And then 5452. Ajay in the house. Wish Eric would be nicer to you.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Yeah, Piranhas, taking care of your boy. Yeah.
9315.
Eric could try harder.
French dip would know how to move through liquid like that, so driven through a rainstorm is nothing for him. Glad to have you on the show.
I have no idea what you said, but yes, neither do you.
4781. Just kidding. Love Ajay.
They love me when they see me in person.
All right, so we've got a couple of things we wanted to get through because it's a busy day. There's a lot going on. We had high school football earlier today down at Rice-Eccles Stadium, and it was the 4A championship game. Now, today's a special day because they line up a number of championships in the same venue on the same day. And so that's what Jason Walker's doing with his family. They just go down there and hang out and watch a bunch of high school football
really
championships.
Cool too. Yeah, that's awesome.
But today it featured number 1 Ridgeline versus number 14 Green Canyon. Never has a team been seated that low make it all the way to the championship game in Green Canyon. And as it turns out, nobody has won by that margin with a shutout like what Ridgeline ended up doing today either. So it was a game of firsts for a lot of different reasons. But, Green Canyon, they've been finding ways to win to get themselves to this point, but it seemed like their luck ran out. And Ridgeline had something to prove today. This was a team that has been good enough to win multiple state championships over multiple years, but have found themselves falling short in the semifinals or the championship. And today they left no question. They are the number 1 team in 4A football. 2
things. First of all, as you talk about Green Canyon being the 14th seed, what a hell of a run. I mean, honestly, like you look at the teams they beat and the way they won those games, and you're right, they figured out different ways to win. And I wouldn't say luck ran out. I just said they played a absolute just saw of a team. I mean, that team that they faced had a mission from the get-go, and it started in week 1 of the season. And if you look at the scores and what they did to teams, that mission stayed on their mind the whole entire year. I mean, they scored 60-plus points twice, Eric. They beat Skyview 60-26, and by the way, that 26 was the most points they'd given up all year long, 26. They beat one team 71-0 at Tooele. They throttled at Brighton. They throttled Brighton 41-0. They beat Park City at Park City. I mean, they're beating good football teams. I mean, they're shellacking them. They go to the playoffs, and they then beat Park City again. They put 73 on East, man. East used to be a dynamite powerhouse in the 5A ranks. They're in 4A, and they just looked like absolute slop against Ridgeline. Provo, they beat 48-22, and then Green Canyon, I think there might have been a little gas ran out too. Like, again, Green Canyon had an incredible year.
Well, they had one of their top defenders get hurt early in the game, which
I don't know if that
bad.
would have really done it. I mean, and that is too bad. You're absolutely right. I don't think that makes a difference. I think this Ridgeline team would have put it on them. You're so right. They had a mindset from week 1 to now to go win a state championship, and Travis Cox, that crew did. The one thing that does bug me here, and I know I'm sure you guys have talked about, I think you talked about on your show yesterday, actually, Eric, is why in the world are we in Salt Lake City for that game? I talked to several people very, very extremely familiar and close to the situation, saying that Ridgeline did not want to play at Utah State. And that's just so unfortunate because, I mean, that's the kid's backyard. Like, right? You play, and I mean, I remember in 2001 when Utah State, not when Mountain Crest and Logan, I was on the team in Mountain Crest, Ryan Zimmerman versus Ryan Bowman at Logan, or at Utah State, a semifinal game. It was a thriller, 37-34. Mountain Crest got the win. That place was packed. People loved being there for that game. And I just can only imagine what the attendance would have been like at Maverick Stadium to see Ridgeline, this dominating team, versus Green Canyon, the Cinderella team, a Valley matchup for the state championship. Should have been in Logan, and I'm devastated that it wasn't. I don't know if, and there's reasons I've been told, but I'm not going to get those reasons until I hear a confirmation.
Right, and we've only been able to speculate on this, but with handling a title game like that, you have to consider renting the stadium, security, insurance. I mean, there's a lot of different things that go into making an event like that happen. You got to get the TV crews to make a move and send all their people and personnel up. UHSA has to send their personnel up. So, I mean, there's a lot of logistical things that I'm not saying that they weren't going to get figured out. I'm just saying there are a lot of things that I don't think a lot of people realize.
Logistics, yeah.
When you think about just moving the game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. That's all I'm trying to illustrate.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
that's a good
saying
point.
one way is right or not. Just saying that there's a lot of things that are involved with it that sometimes people just kind of gloss over, like, oh, it shouldn't be that big a deal.
Then
it kind of is, but at the same time, you know what? This is, it would have been nice to have it here closer to home, but it was in Salt Lake. I don't think the venue would have mattered.
No, I'm not saying the venue matters
as far
at
as
all.
like the outcome.
But it's playing in front of your own
still,
fans here in the Valley.
You'd get more people there.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, really, Eric. I mean, they got to play at Rice Eccles Stadium. I love Maverick Stadium. I love everything about Maverick Stadium. Rice Eccles is Rice Eccles, right? It's like you done the Utah Utes.
Yeah, it's a Big 12.
Yeah, it is,
venue.
and it's a big venue too. It really is a massive stadium. You've been there, you've seen it, and so But nonetheless, again, it's cool to see two Valley teams, especially Green Canyon and Ridgeline. I mean, just the most dominating team. And Eric, I've looked back on this now. I've done kind of some research too. You look at some of the great teams from the Valley that have played and went and won state championships, right? You got Riley Nilton and that Logan squad with Favero. You've got Ryan Zimmerman with Art Erickson. You had Brady Zimmerman and Mark Wooten, right?
Mason Falslev
and Skyview. Ike Larson.
Yeah.
Wasn't Ike Larson on that team too?
Yeah.
Didn't they win a state championship? Yeah, all together. They were unbeatable. And when I look at what this team did, Ridgeline, against the quality of competition they did it against, man, it is hard to put a lot of teams up against them and say, yeah, you know what, this team's better than this Ridgeline team. Because this Ridgeline team was unbelievable, Eric. The domination from week 1 to and there was not one game within single digits, right? No. In fact, every win they had was by 20-plus points. They went 14-0, and every win was by 20-plus points. That is incredible annihilation. Best team ever out of Cache Valley, period, end of story.
Yeah, I'd have to do a little bit more research on that. I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but what Ridgeline has done this year and in their run has been incredibly impressive. Just their margin of victory, offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, what their defense has done. A lot of talk on their offense. We had Dave Simmons and Stockton Jukes on with us yesterday, and Dave was right to point out the team speed on defense has been phenomenal for the Riverhawks. And they've got a lot of guys that are going to be playing at the next level on that roster. It's quite a run for the Riverhawks. And they certainly need to be in the discussion among the best teams
ever. Yeah,
that have ever had a season put together from our local schools.
Absolutely.
Because Bear River, they had a run too, where in 3A,
my gosh,
where
Jason
they were
Zundel?
Yeah, they were winning a bunch of games.
Yeah, they were whipping people too.
So there's been a proud tradition in northern Utah here where there have been some very, very solid programs.
Yeah.
Just about every one of them has now had their moment. Green Canyon hasn't quite got the chip yet, but man, look what they've done under Coach
As a
JT.
14 seed.
And they've...
Who'd they beat too? Snow Canyon?
Crimson Cliffs.
Unbelievable.
But they've consistently been able to punch above their weight.
Yes.
And so interesting to see, how much of that momentum can build into future seasons for Green Canyon. But Skyview's had great runs.
Yeah.
Logan's had great runs.
Mountain
Crest,
had
Bear
a
River.
couple,
So now we're just waiting for Green Canyon to get that.
And
They're probably not that far away.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're getting there. I do. Hey, and then, I look at some of the players they got. I mean, Grant Livingston, it is so extremely unfortunate that he's not an Aggie. That is so extremely unfortunate. But again, he's going to do what's best for him. He has that right to do so. I wish that Utah State could have somehow snagged him, because him going to South Dakota Provo was just... He's such an incredible ball player. He's so talented, and he's got such great IQ on the field. He really could have been a huge asset for Bronco Mendenhall's football team, but it is what it is.
So we've got a couple of texts weighing in, a couple of opinions. Okay. 435-339-0321 for those who want to chime in on this topic. 4781 saying they didn't even finish the game at Tooele. Could have scored more. That's true.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because it was a bad weather game. No, they did finish that game. It was against Stansbury. Stansbury was number 5 at the time. There was a big delay, but they did finish that game. Everybody else who played that night in the Tooele Valley, they packed up and went home.
Oh, really?
They called the games, but because those were two highly ranked teams, 2 top 5 teams, they had the big delay, but they eventually came back out and finished the game. So they did finish the game against Stansbury.
It was 40-6.
Yeah, it was like leave no question. But because they played Tooele,
that was on the 12th.
Yeah,
it was
the
at
12th.
Yeah,
and they blew them out 71-0. So
gosh,
that game was played entirety. Ridgeline played all of their games to their full extent. The game at Stansbury had a delay, but they still played and finished that game.
Hey, I want to ask you too. Really, I actually have more text to read, but is there a recruiting advantage in the Valley for kids to go to certain schools? Like, I mean, look.
Is there a recruiting advantage?
Yeah. I mean, it's 2025, right? I mean, let's be honest. Like, elephant in the room. There's recruiting or transferring or whatever it is. Come play for us, right?
Oh, for schools to get other high school kids to transfer to where they're at?
I apologize.
So I was thinking of like recruiting to Utah State or Utah or BYU.
That's more portal stuff. Yeah. Anyways, I just kind of thought about that. Like, I mean, Ridgeline's got a couple kids. I know Green Canyon's got a couple kids outside the boundaries. Logan's really in kind of a tough spot right now, no man's land, because they're getting just overlooked. But it's interesting to see certain players go to certain schools and then watch them dominate there. Like Rich High School had a running back who was really good, one of the best in their class. He's at Ridgeline now. He left, and Rich
his family has moved here. And they're building a home.
Moved.
Well, they live in Nibley, but
that would cover. But see,
so they're in the boundaries.
Like, but okay, so what are the boundaries then? Because I'm really confused about where the boundaries are. Maybe then, because I'm hearing like Nibley should be at Mountain Crest, and I mean back in the old days, but it's now
Nibley's Ridgeline.
Man,
boundaries.
I'm so glad I was born in '86. Then, goodness gracious. Anyways, but I look. I mean, again, just that. I mean, that Ridgeline football team probably put the had to put the brake on a lot. And again, continuing clock after 35-0 leads or 35-point leads, right? Then the clock just runs. And again, they could have put up so many more numbers if they wanted to, and record-setting numbers, state record-setting numbers.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I mean, what a season. Congratulations to Ridgeline. It's a school that won state championship in golf already this year. We already know what they did in women's and girls basketball, but they've had some key players graduate, so that's going to be interesting to see how they look this next season.
One gal was over at Duke.
Yeah. But for Green Canyon, this was
how did they do it, Eric?
This is a great team that had a really special run.
How did they do it? Like, how do you go in the playoffs? I know like it's when you get hot, you're hot. But this is becoming absurdity of what they were able to accomplish to get to the Eric, a 14 seed within the state championship and beat two of the top 3 teams, I believe, to get there. Like, what did you see from Green Canyon that they were able to pull off this miracle run?
Well, good question. So they ended their season with a loss against Mountain Crest, and it was a close game.
Yeah,
but it felt like they lost. Well, they lost the last 2. They lost to Ridgeline and they lost to Mountain Crest, and so it was like they'll probably get bounced in the first round because they had to travel down. They hosted Desert Hills. But that
they were on a 2-game losing streak going into this?
2-game losing streak, and they barely won 10-3 against Desert Hills.
Holy
and so the next
smokes.
round they have to travel down south. It's like, okay,
well,
the
that was
run's
fun while it
probably
lasted.
over. Get ready for next year. But then they pull off the upset, and mostly it's because they just had gritty defense, and then the offense just did enough to get by, and that was the same thing that they did against Skyline, and that's the same thing that they did against Crimson Cliffs. They didn't score a ton of points, but their offense was efficient enough to get down the field. But it was their defense that really put them in better positions in shorter fields to help get them there.
It's incredible. Like I cannot say enough good things about what Green Canyon football just accomplished. And I know those kids are upset. They're sad. They're devastated right now. And heads are probably hanging. And I'm sure their head coach said that shouldn't be the case. And it really shouldn't. What they did as a 14 seed, Eric, in the playoffs, making that incredible run is going to be memorable for a very, very long time. Not just by those kids, not by that team, but also by a lot of the Green Canyon community, right? There's no doubt what they were able to do. It's incredible.
A couple more texts coming through on the Young Power Sports of Logan text line. 4781 Ridgeline didn't want to have a fan disadvantage.
That's what I had heard as well. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that
Ridgeline
means.
fans would have showed up. I think Ridgeline fans would have been loving the opportunity.
Were there going to be a host of Mountain Crest fans who are going to show up and cheer for Green Canyon? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, maybe. But
are
look,
you a good team?
Yeah.
Or
like it's all about the fans don't play. They don't catch the passes. They don't tackle. It's you. It's your team. It's your execution. It's your coaches.
And that's not directed at you, 4781.
No.
Like,
Yeah. Very much.
If anybody believed that, then that's like, why do you even play road games?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, again, it wouldn't change the result. You're so right.
No, Ridgeline won on the road.
They're the better team by far and away.
They won on neutral site fields.
Make it clear. Travis Cox had that team on an absolute machine run. Never seen anything like that ever in my life. Wow.
2947. Place would have been packed if it was Friday nights and in the Valley. Oh, well.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is because, what's today, Thursday, right? So tonight they also have volleyball at the Club Estes. I don't know when they would have done this game.
Yeah, so I would imagine if UHSAA and their TV partners are tied up with the 5A and 6A championships.
Yeah, throw me a crystal. Like, how do you do this?
Then you would probably say, okay, we'll do the championship for 4A on Friday. The USU football team's out of the area. They don't need the field. You can get onto the field whenever you need. So I would imagine that they could have done it on a Friday night, but
dude, that would have been the place to be in the Valley and everybody would have went too.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
I mean, I think all schools would have went and watched. Everyone would have had so much vested interest in watching Ridgeline.
Well, I think there'd be a lot of casual fans like hearing about Ridgeline, how good they are. Like, well, let's go see them in person.
And I haven't seen a high school game all year. I would definitely have went and saw that. Absolutely.
8298. 4A title game was boring. 2 out of 5 stars. Good Ridgeline team though. And then Ridgeline girls basketball was better. Not sure there's been better football though.
Yeah, Emily Skinner and Elise Livingston were the catalyst of that incredible basketball team. And I mean, Emily Skinner's right now falling on a little bit of a hard time over there as she's at Duke, but she's been dealing with some injury and lack of minutes and whatnot. And that Duke team,
she'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, and that Duke team's struggling a little bit too right now. They're trying to get their bearings underneath them. As a team, as they've been dealing with some injuries, so hopefully they'll get back to being who they are. And yeah, like look, I mean, was their girls basketball team better? Yeah, they were the best basketball team probably ever in maybe Mountain Crest in 2000 and 1999. I think was pretty good too. But that Ridgeline, yeah, that girls team was incredible. Lisa Livingston, Macy Brown, Emily Skinner. I mean, they were loaded. They were absolutely loaded. But in football, in regards to football though, Ridgeline's easily in my top 3. And
like, there've been good teams, but I don't know that we've seen a team
not with scores
dominate
like this.
Offensively and defensively every single week against whatever opponent gets thrown at them, regardless of classification too.
Oh my gosh! Again, Travis Cox cannot get enough credit. Him and his staff for what they put together this year. I'm not trying to I'm trying to be careful of fawning over it. But when you look at those scores, Eric, I'm with you, buddy. Well, it's 71-0, 62-20, 40-6 on the road. On the road, they had games over with before you even got to halftime, and sometimes they had 14 points on the board before you even got in your seats.
41-0 over Brighton at Brighton, who was in the 5A semifinals.
Park City's a pretty dang good football team, and they went and flattened them not once but twice. Again. Coaching was incredible. Players bought into the system. That's what happens when you see a really dominant football team like that. And now, again, can Travis Cox do that next year? We'll find out. I mean, he loses some talent. Graham Livingston being one of those guys. But
find a new quarterback.
Yeah, and that's not as easy as it looks, too.
We do need to take a timeout, but we're going to hit this real quick since it's on the topic. 8968. I know Bear River had a good run when Dan Cox was the coach. If I'm correct, he never won a championship at either school he coached at.
Yeah, he went to Mountain Crest. He was at Bear River, didn't win there, and then went to Mountain Crest, went to back-to-back state championships, and lost to West and I think Bountiful. He lost to West like 7-6, and then lost to Bountiful I think like 12-3 if I remember right. I mean that guy, and in the state semifinal in 2000, right? They missed an extra point. And then he doesn't kick a field goal the rest of the way. They were inside the red zone. They were inside the 10 3 times. Inside the red zone multiple times. He never kicked a field goal. Instead, he went for it. And they lose. They lose 7-6.
Yeah, that's hard.
Oh.
All right, quick timeout. A lot more to get through here on the Full Court Press. If you want to chime in, we always love to hear from you. 435-339-0321.
Hi, this is Brooke Stevenson.
Ty Smith.
And David Castor with Adams Wealth Advisors. We're truly honored to be named Best of Northern Utah Gold winner for the Best Financial Planner. This community means everything to us, and we're grateful for every customer who made this possible. Thank you for your trust.
Advisory services offered through Adams Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. For important disclosures and more information, visit adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
When the snow starts flying, be sure your tires are ready. At Express Tire, they work with all vehicles and all tire sizes with safety and comfort a priority. As a Point S Tire team member, you're backed by a nationwide warranty that includes roadside protection. No appointment needed. Just stop in and they'll get your tires winter ready. 3200 North Main.
Express Tire. Tires for less.
Express Auto, where tires and service come together.
Les Olson IT structured cabling is second to none. Tired of old and inefficient cabling? Have an upgrade or remodel planned? Building a new network from the ground up? We offer the very best in low voltage cabling installation, including data, phone, fiber optic, and more. Ask us how to get your free consultation today.
Les Olson IT.
It doesn't matter who you root for. The Full Court Press has all the high school sports covered. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Jason Walker is not here with us in person, but he's with us in
Over
spirit.
technology.
Yes, texting into the program, reminding us about the West Side Pirates, where they had years. He says they had years where they gave up single-digit points the entire season. Yes, we can't forget West Side.
Dude, they were a machine.
They've had multiple years where they just totally dominated their classification.
Yeah, and nobody was in the, there was West Side 50 feet of crap. And then everybody else, not even the same atmosphere, galaxy, or universe. West Side, I so agree with that 8298. What a great point you bring up. Thank you.
AKA Jason Walker. 2603.
So weird you text in. Dude, go spend time with your dad.
Texting in. Does Cache Valley have the best collection of athletes in the area? Counting the two Idaho schools, with West Side being great in football and Preston in boys basketball.
Ooh, great question. 2603, wonderful question. Eric, yeah, best collection, compared to where, though?
Yeah, it's a fair point. But based on population size, you have to consider, based on population, what these schools produce is pretty phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I mean, there are a lot of legit D1, P5 dudes that come out of the Wasatch Front. And
that used to not be the case, by the way.
No.
20 years ago, we weren't getting that.
Not as much.
And there were still some pretty good athletes, though.
Yeah. But it's been this area has definitely produced a lot of great teams and a lot of great athletes. Preston in basketball has been very dominant. For boys basketball, they had a run there where they won 3 state titles in a row.
Yeah.
And they only lost 2 games.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then, there was Skyview boys basketball back when Nate Harris was there. And they were a truckload. I remember, I think Nate Harris had 45 on Jake Caressa. And I think he was a junior in high school. And he made Jake Caressa look silly that night. Yeah. So, yeah, there's been, you guys ought to do a top 5 best, you and Jason. And, that's going to put some controversy into your text messages.
Well, we did a Friday 5 best once, and we left off some people, and we got some heat about that.
Yeah.
Best athletes to ever come out of the Valley.
I think that was you and I, wasn't
it?
Yeah. We got a lot of crap for that one.
Because I will admit, I honestly have forgot about a few athletes.
Well, and I thought my list was really good, and then they were like, no, you haven't heard of this guy, then have you? I'm like, no, I've heard of him. Is he any good though? Yeah.
Well, somebody pointed somebody out to me that I had missed, and oh my gosh.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
I totally missed on that guy. Let's see, 8968. When that game between Skyview and Mountain Crest in the 80s took place, the place was nearly packed. At the time, it was the most people to watch a high school football game. One can only imagine how this game would have played out. I would have been there, and I live in Wellsville.
Yeah, 1987, Utah's at the time, Romney Stadium. It was Skyview Mountain Crest for the state championship. Mountain Crest won in a slugfest, 9-7. That was Jack Robinson was the head coach at the time from Mountain Crest. And they were incredibly good that year. They went on a freaking heater probably about midway through the season. Didn't lose another game. The great point 896. There's a really cool photo of that I've seen actually of that game, and that Mountain Crest team was loaded. And Jack Robinson was a heck of a ball coach too.
Interesting question from 2603. How soon before Cache Valley gets another 2 high schools? One in the north, Richmond area, and southwest area.
Can I say I hope it doesn't happen?
I agree. I hope it doesn't happen.
We're already convoluted with high schools and
I mean the schools
moving.
that are here are pretty full.
Yeah.
Based on their current capacity.
Is Logan in that regard too? Are they full? What's their situation, Eric?
Logan is the smallest. That's partially why they're a lower classification. Oh, yeah. I mean, they were on the edge where they could have stayed in 4A, but they're one of those schools that have the option to dip. But Ridgeline is the biggest high school by student population, but they're not that far off between each other.
Okay.
So
hey, Eric, I
don't know.
Can I ask you, because you would know more than I would on this regard, what happened to Logan though? And maybe listeners, you can help me out too, because I haven't kept in contact, or just haven't listened or paid attention as much as I probably should. Logan used to be a dominant high school, even in 3A athletics. I mean, they used to be the cream of the crop. They were the bar for everybody to get to, and nobody could touch it. What happened to Logan, man, in every sport?
I don't know. That's a topic for another day.
Did they have an athletic director just leave again, right? And then their football coach, Nate Butts, is no longer there?
I don't know about their athletic director. I haven't heard that, but I do know that Nate Butts, their football coach, has decided to leave.
Oh, man.
And that honestly has been a big problem, is that
no consistency.
There's no consistency with the coaching staff.
How long was he there?
2 seasons.
Oh, that's it?
The coach before him, I think, was there for 2
seasons. 2 seasons, I remember that.
The coach before him was there for 2, maybe 3 seasons. Man. So I think there's I'd love to get to the bottom of what's going on with Logan High, because you're right. Dude. They've got nice facilities.
Yeah, they've got everything you'd ask for, and they're in a classification where they can absolutely compete. They should be competing.
Well, it felt like they were starting to turn a corner this year, and so it felt like, okay, they're building something next year. Should be pretty exciting.
Yeah,
but now they have to start over again.
Oh man, that's and I feel bad for them, because when Logan was good, this valley was fun. I mean, there was some fun football to watch when Logan was there and at their best. And it's so unfortunate it's not the case anymore.
I think the advantage to we'll call them the rural schools or the suburb schools, is that they have more stability with their student body, and they have more established youth programs.
Okay.
And your football team starts when the success of a football team really starts when kids are like 10 or 11 years old, or even younger than that.
Yeah.
And I think that's always been a struggle for Logan, because it's their student body, if you will, the students that come into there's a lot more move-ins and move-outs. If people are in Logan for a little bit of time, maybe when they're younger, but then when they're at a certain space to get the house that they want or the neighborhood that they want, they move into the suburbs. But what I don't understand though is that there are still like nice established neighborhoods throughout Logan. So it's not like it's all apartments and low income, because there are nice neighborhoods too. There are high income neighborhoods in Logan city limits. So I am a little baffled with that as well.
Yeah.
That's a program that should be better, but the last 15 years, especially, they've really struggled.
Yeah, and again, it's extremely unfortunate, because again, Logan deserves to have that success. They had it in the mid-aughts, of course. Remember with Favero, but even in basketball, they were really good, right? I mean, in basketball, they were good. Baseball, they were competitive. In girls athletics, they actually were doing all right, and it's just kind of all really just taken a huge cliff fall, and it's so unfortunate for the Valley and for that city as well.
Now, I do like what I think we need to highlight the good that's happening with Logan, the school district. They converted the municipal pool into an indoor practice facility.
Oh, no kidding,
and
really?
So I think that benefits a lot of sports in a lot of different ways. And it's right next to Mount Logan, so youth, the younger kids, the middle school age kids can have access to that.
I love that.
For enhanced training opportunities. In bad weather, they can still go and do some things there. So I do have to give them credit for making those steps to try to help out with their youth programs and where they're going with athletics.
Hey, I got to ask you to put a bow on this before we go to our next topic. But Eric, I want to get your thoughts overall on the 2025 football season, high school wise. Surprises, shockers. some of the memorable games or even the great players that you saw this year and that you heard of? And I know you guys will probably put something together on Cache Valley Daily. But what were some of the things that stood out to you about this football season in high school?
It's a good question. I think that I suspected that Ridgeline would be good.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they'd be this good.
I don't think anybody did.
They'd be this dominant.
I don't think so either.
I expected to see more improvements from Bear River and Logan. I thought that we'd see some nice things happening there, but it didn't materialize. Having the Tooele schools in the region, there was some uncertainty as how that would work out.
How do you think it worked out?
Deseret Peak was a dumpster fire. And I feel bad for that situation. From what I understand, their district said, we are not going to allow any seniors to go to that school. You're going to finish your senior year at the school where you were before.
What the world? What? Am I hearing this right?
For athletics, they're all underclassmen, all inexperienced.
Oh, jeez, dude.
And so they just got thrown through a meat grinder all year long, and just one, just embarrassing loss after another. That's how it was for football, and from some of the other sports as well. It'd be interesting to see if that continues to play out in the winter and spring sports too.
Where are they located? In that Tooele area too?
In the Tooele area.
Jeez Louise, man.
Yeah, but despite having that, the split and having some school or some students leave, Stansbury was still a very solid program.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was interesting just to see how that would mix into everything for the local schools.
Do you like how the classification is set up currently for 4A going into next year?
Yes, you're right. It's a 2-year run until they re-examine it. So this classification, the region that we saw this year, will be the same next year. And, if I had my druthers, I'd love to see Logan still with everybody else.
Yeah, I would be.
And have the region just be here
I'm
close.
with you.
Nobody's more than 20 or 30 minutes
Outside
away
the
from
valley,
each
yeah.
other. But, that's not going to change. So it is, Stansbury, or excuse me, the Tooele area does seem a little bit far away. But, where else? There's nobody else that's really any closer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit surprising that there's nobody in the Ogden area that's in 4A. But, it is what it is.
Where's Bonneville at now?
Bonneville is I think they're a 5A school.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. Again, but it's crazy that football season's already over with for high school. That still hasn't really sat in with me yet. But again, congrats to Ridgeline and congrats to Green Canyon. I don't want to leave them out. What they did this year was absolutely phenomenal, and I think both teams got a lot to look forward to.
It's disappointing how the game today played out, but Green Canyon should not hold their heads in shame.
Not one bit.
They should be ecstatic about getting the runners-up trophy. I don't know if they have such a thing.
They do.
But they should be ecstatic about finishing second in the state for the type of run that they put together to end the season.
What a heater, man. I'm telling you. And again, Ridgeline, one of the most dominant teams you and I have, and we've seen a lot of high school football, Eric, both you and I. That's one of the most dominant teams and dominant seasons I have ever in my entire life seen. I've seen some pretty dang good football teams.
2603, before we hit another timeout, North Logan has a rec program that is run phenomenally. I think that will benefit Green Canyon the next decade plus. Shout out to them.
Oh, see, that's great. Like, as long as you're getting ways to get... I love the word using feeder program, because that's what it's about. Like, whether it's in baseball, because Mount Crest has a feeder program like that. Ridgeline has a program like that. Skyview had a program like that. And so as long as you can get feeders where youth are being trained and how would you call it?
Just getting the experience.
Yeah,
and having fun and enjoying it.
Yeah, and by the way, I think it was was it Calhoun who said this? I can't remember who said it, but someone said we as parents need to remember that the kid's 10 years old. They're not 17, and there's no scholarships being offered right now. Let them go play baseball, basketball, football without having parents yak at them. They've got 20 different coaches. It was Steve Kerr who said this. And he said there's 20 different coaches yelling at kids in AAU ball or in Little League ball. He said he went to a Little League ball game, 9 years old, and he's got 10 parents screaming at one kid. And his kid's kind of starts crying. And Kerr's like, what are we doing here? And again, in the Valley, I love having feeder programs, but let's make sure it's being used for the right way, coached the right way, so when they get to be high school athletes, A, they're not mentally unhealthy from sports because parents have been yelling at them for the last 10 years, and B, trained well, so they can go out there and be a productive member of a high school baseball team in their certain area.
Yeah, well, and they need to have fun. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
I know there can be a lot of pressure. When
Don't
you get
tell
into
Joe
competitive
Mazzulla
sports, it can get kind of crazy. But yeah.
Did you see Joe Mazzulla's
They need
answer?
to have the joy of playing the sport.
Did you hear about the Joe Mazzulla?
No.
This kid was allowed to ask a question at Boston Celtics press. This was like a week ago or maybe just a few days ago. And he said, how do you balance between, helping the team get better, but then also having fun? And he said, I never tell kids to go I never tell my guys to go have fun. Why would you go have fun? You know, you got to win ball games. You're getting paid to win ball games. Like dead straight, pan-faced kind of an answer with this kid. And he said, I mean, if you want to go have fun, that's great. But, you need to go win too. Don't ever go tell somebody to go have fun. And if somebody tells you to go have fun, you shouldn't listen to that. I was like,
wow.
Okay, Joe Mazzulla there, everybody.
Full of joy.
Yo, isn't he? Yo, like Bill Belichick.
Wow. All right, quick timeout here in the Full Court Press. But when we come back, I want to get some of Ajay's thoughts about this Utah State football team and their matchup against Fresno State. French dip and Fresno State seems like a great pairing.
Tri-tip.
We'll discuss next
it's
on
tri-tip.
the Full Court Press.
Apologize.
Ski season is coming, which means Season Ski Rentals. This is Mark at the Sportsman, where we have over 20 years of season ski rental experience. We rent to kids and adults. Come in to get season ski rentals for your entire family. We like to wait a little later in the fall because there is a chance your kids might grow out of their boots by the time ski season actually rolls around. You will get the right gear for your kids to ski this year at the Sportsman on Main Street in downtown Logan with tons of parking in the back.
Looking for comfort and convenience in Logan? Stay at the Bomb Motel for just $79 when you mention Aggies 79. Just minutes from USU. Perfect for football games, commencements, campus events, and more. Enjoy your stay without the hassle. Your sure stay Bomb Motel offers cozy beds, free continental breakfasts, and a seasonal outdoor pool. True comfort and value. $79 rooms with Aggie 79. The Bomb Motel. Call 435-752-5220. That's 752-5220 today.
Over the past few years, strong and crazy weather patterns have battered various parts of the country. Northern Utah and southern Idaho are not immune from its share of wild weather. Be prepared for power outages with a Generac backup generator from Golden Spike Electric. They are your local source for Generac sales and service. Generac keeps you in control when bad weather strikes. Golden Spike Electric, powering your peace of mind. Online at gsegenerators.com or call 257-3016. They also service other models.
Hi, this is Robbie with LSS Insurance. Medicare changes can be confusing, but they don't have to be. Skip the ads, the junk mail, and the endless phone calls. Come talk to a local licensed pro that knows all the local Medicare possibilities. Let's sit down face to face and make sure you have the right plan for 2026. No pressure, no cost, just the help you need from people who live and understand our community. Call 752-9493 today and speak with a licensed agent at LSS Insurance. Get the most out of Medicare. Let us help you.
The patio is open. The chips are endless. Drinks on tap. You know it's got to be Cafe Sabor, Cache Valley's best Mexican restaurant, gold winner in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Experience Locals Day every Thursday with a huge burrito, endless chips and soda, only $7.95. That's a complete lunch for just $7.95. Finding any lunch under $10 is nearly impossible. Every Thursday, drinks, chips, and massive burrito, just $7.95. The patio, the sun, the fun at Cafe Sabor in the historic train station on 6th Weston Center in Logan.
Join the show by calling 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Right now, you can get blowout pricing on all 2025 Ski-Doo and Polaris snowmobiles, up to $6,000 off at Young Power Sports of Logan. And also, they've offered free pickup and drop-off for service, plus free preseason checks on all snowmobiles just off South Main in Logan. Young Power Sports Logan, where your winter adventure begins. 435-339-0321. That's the Young Power Sports of Logan text line if you want to weigh in. Shifting our attention a little bit to Utah State football from the high school ranks to the collegiate ranks. Aggies preparing for Fresno State.
Big game.
We've been talking about the matchups most of the week here. I want to get your thoughts, Ajay, and kind of where you think this Aggie team is at, and if they have any better chance of getting a win on the road this Saturday compared to what their chances looked like last Saturday.
Well, it's interesting because you talk about mental toughness, right? I think that's what some Broncos hit on a couple of times in pressers is maturity and mental toughness and progression and such. This week is going to be the let's find out if that's real or fake kind of stuff, because you just suffered a absolutely devastating, in like 1,000 different ways, heartbreaking loss at UNLV where you should have won multiple times. Now you got to go to Fresno, who's 7-3. They look sharp. They've lost 2. But they're still a really good team, especially on the defensive front. Bryson Barnes, this offensive line has had an incredibly rough time protecting Bryson. And Bryson is his body imprint of him is every single field right now in about 10 different spots. So they got to find a way to protect Bryson. If they can't protect Bryson, this game's going to be a very quick one. And here's the reason why. It's because the Aggies will be limited in possessions because Fresno has a great running game, Eric, and that's the other thing. So the first thing for me is find a way to protect Bryson so that he can have time to be able to make reads, make decisions, and find receivers like Brady and Brody.
Yeah, and Brady and Brody?
Braden, Pagan, and Brody. No, not Brady, Pagan, right? Yeah, and then who's the Bode guy? Bode? Dude, come on, help me. Yes.
Where are we going?
Yes,
with these?
Bowden. Help me. What's his first name? Brady Bowden. Yeah, Brady Bowden and Brady Pagan. No, it's a Josh Bowden.
Let's hear from another double alliteration. Bryson Barnes, actually. He'll talk about pass protection. Well, all kinds of alliteration here.
From the bye week, the week in Nevada, and then obviously last week against UNLV, we've obviously kind of tweaked some things offensively, and things have been looking a lot better. Like I said, the UNLV number was very misleading on the way I felt leaving the game. And so I don't feel like there's really much to change. I believe that Nevada, they had, I believe, like the 2 leading dudes with sacks in the Mountain West. And if we can hold those guys to 0, then, I'm confident that we can hold Fresno State's guys to 0.
Okay, so I appreciate Bryson taking some of the blame for
Do you
the problems in
think he
pass
should, though?
protection. Well, I don't know. But some of it, I appreciate what he's trying to do to protect his guys. He's not trying to throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
But he is kind of right that he doesn't make it easy for them when he's running around and scrambling and giving the opposing defenses opportunities to get to him. But to his credit, he's not as efficient when he's under pressure, but he's not throwing the ball into dangerous situations.
I agree.
So he's not a gambler. He's not a risk taker, and providing opportunities for takeaways for the opponents. So while pass protection does need to continue to be improved, that has been an ongoing storyline all year. Started in the first game when UTEP had 6 sacks, but part of it is on Bryson himself too, but. Man, it just seems like a broken record that we hear every week.
Yeah, and
it was okay against Nevada. They did good against those guys, where they had one of the top tackle for loss guys across the other side of the ball. They shut him down and didn't allow him to get to Bryson, and he had a clean jersey all day. But then Utah State kind of fell into some old habits last week against UNLV.
The other problem I have is. Are we picking up blitzes, and I just want to know why guys are getting free. Are they not just hearing the call? Are they not understanding the call at the line of scrimmage? Are we not checking the mic or the SAM? I just don't know what's going on that we have this. You said it so well, Eric. This isn't like a 2-week problem. This isn't just the last 3 weeks. It's been the whole entire freaking season. And again, Fresno State's got a great defensive front, and they are. I guarantee you right now, they're salivating on that defensive side of the ball. Hey, we can send disguised blitzes, and these guys will have no idea how to pick it up.
Oh, we do want to get though some comments from Fresno State about Bryson Barnes, trying to defend him and understanding who he is and what Utah State brings. Here's a couple comments from Coach Entz on the Fresno State perspective of how Utah State, how their offense is dynamic and can be a little bit difficult to defend.
We got to be great at tackling. It's going to come down to the simple things. We got to be able to get off blocks. We got to tackle. We got to understand layering out our fits. We can't just all of a sudden be all at the line of scrimmage right now, because then we're going to open up some of those uncontested throws that he'll make off the glance look or off the RPO look. So I think trying to change maybe pictures, play some multiple coverages. How do we find ways to get some pressure at his feet? I think that's one thing that you look at statistically they have struggled with a little bit at times this year is just some pressure. But how do we do it where we know our issues and we know the solutions? Because the last thing you want to do is give up a bunch of explosive plays.
I love the game plan. I mean, you can tell they've scouted it. They have it down. And Eric, I've loved what you said to me before we started this is, can Fresno State score? Because they can't. Can Utah State score? Because if they can, this game's over. Like, if they can put up points, this game's over.
Yeah, just as for me, like last week, it was if Utah State defensively can play well and slow down UNLV, Aggies will have a chance to win.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
And they did. It's completely flipped for me for this game. If the offense can score, if they can outscore Fresno State cannot keep up with Utah State offensively.
Yeah.
And so can Utah State outperform that Fresno State defense?
Hey, where do you put the point mark? Where's the goal for Utah State to get there to make Fresno State get uncomfortable?
24.
Holy crap, that's not high.
27 maybe?
Oh, you score 14 in the first. You're going to be sitting pretty. I love it. Like, let's do it. Get to 24 and let's make them sweat it out.
All right, a lot more coming up on the Full Court Press. Love to get your reactions as well. 435-339-0321.
This is Brent Wallace with Cache Valley Bank, and we understand that concerns about fraud can weigh heavily on you. Your peace of mind is important to us. That's why we're committed to looking out for you and your family. Our team keeps a vigilant eye on your account, and if you ever have concerns or need support, we're just a call or visit away. Whether you need advice or just someone to talk to, our friendly staff is ready to help. We're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors, and we care about your security. Visit your local branch today. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Thank you for letting Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center care for your family this year. Be sure to call us for an appointment before the end of the year to make the most of your cafeteria or flex funds. Located in Providence and North Logan, Cache Valley ENT also has offices in Box Elder, Rich, Bear Lake, and Franklin counties. The entire team at Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat wish you and your family a healthy holiday season. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance plans, including Select Health, are accepted.
If you're thinking about getting engaged this holiday, shop S.E. Needham Jewelers. We always offer an integrity price guarantee. In fact, at Match Quality, you'll find our prices to be as low or lower than any store in the state. We consistently beat any 50 to 70% off sales, internet pricing, or so-called wholesale deals. In fact, we even price our diamonds at internet pricing. So you'll get S.E. Needham quality at internet prices. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Need a new battery or wiper blades? How are your wiper blades holding up today? Well, Napa has the best brands that can even help you with installation right on the spot at the store. And they can take care of you. A lot of different things with your vehicle. Go check them out. Multiple locations between Preston and Providence. That's Napa Auto Parts. 435-339-0321. That's the Young Power Sports of Logan text line. Wanted to get this clip from Jaden Pearson, former Aggie, who's having a standout season for the Bulldogs, and some of his thoughts about trying to defend Bryson Barnes, who's a very dynamic quarterback. They haven't faced very many like him this season.
I would say, for our defense, we just have to do what we have to, what Coach B and all of our position coaches are teaching us to do throughout the week. We don't have to go above and beyond. We just have to talk to each other, get aligned correctly, and just play relentlessly.
Play relentlessly, I think, is just the motto for that Fresno State defense.
And that's what it's been for the last 3 or 4 years, too, is just play relentlessly. Look, what their coach said, dude, this team's going to be a problem defensively for the Aggies. But like you said, if they can score some points, if they can find a way to put, I mean, honestly, 14 points by halftime gets you halfway to your goal mark that you said of 24-27. Get there, and then let's see where the chips fall. I think if they can score some points here and put Fresno State on their heels defensively, By you, and by the way, Miles Davis has got to touch the ball more somehow. They've got to give him the ball more, Eric.
Yeah, well,
balance.
Obviously, their defensive schemes are very wildly different. With, Air Force and Fresno,
1,000%.
But offensively, how they do things similar in that Fresno's going to run a smash mouth football style of 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah,
and they want to chew up time and chew up a clock, and so possessions will be a premium. So when Utah State has the ball, they need points.
Yeah.
They need points. One more real quick comment here from Matt Entz about Bryson Barnes. They haven't seen anybody like him.
Someone who is, designer +1 run game. Yeah, we haven't seen anything like this. This will be really good for us. And to throw on top of that, they jump into some wildcat stuff, and we use their tailbacks and some receivers, in that quarterback position. So. We're going to have, like I said, a really good plan going into it. Try to change up some things. Have some solutions on our call sheet, so that way, we can just kind of keep them off base and on their heels a little bit during the course of the game. But again, at this point of the year, it still comes down to being great at the simple things. We got to be able to get off blocks. We got to tackle. Those things still matter in college football.
Everybody needs to put forth their best effort here for Utah State. I loved that the energy was better. The execution mostly was better at UNLV. And those things, I think, help build to the opportunity to get a win on the road this week at Fresno State. And we'll see how it plays out late Saturday night. A lot more to discuss next hour.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Shedeur Sanders has lived under a spotlight from the moment his name entered the NFL draft conversation. Hope, hype, and a whole lot of questions have followed him every step of the way. And his emergency appearance last week didn't do much to quiet the skeptics. If anything, it only amplified the doubts. But let's be honest, tossing a rookie into a surprise mid-game cameo against a contending Ravens team is hardly a fair evaluation. He hadn't taken meaningful reps with the starters. He hadn't game planned. He was thrown in to the deep without a life jacket, and it looked like it. This week is different. He gets the start, he gets the reps, and he gets the Raiders. No matter how it goes, the sample size will still be too small to judge his ceiling. But with a full week to prepare and an organization finally building the game plan around him, we will get our first glimpse of what the former Colorado Star might become in the NFL. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.